back in, I believe it was January sometime. Check engine light came on this bad boy. It was for the crank cam position correlation. So I didn't think anything of it at first. I reset the computer, got rid of the light, and it pretty much came back on the next morning. And then the car started running rough, and basically these cars, after about 100,000 miles, they the timing chain, they use plastic tensioners, and they start to go bad, and the chain gets loose, and so the chain had skipped a tooth or two, and it was no longer running in the right, things weren't lining up like they were supposed to, and created a little bit of an issue there for us. Because at that point we didn't have 3 cars with 2 motorcycles, and it was middle of January, so anyways, I'd never done a timing chain on one of these. I didn't know if it was even savable because it's an interference motor, so if I did skip a tooth, it could have bent a valve. I wasn't really sure how to proceed. So basically everyone I talked to said, get a timing chain, throw it in it, see what happens. Worst case scenario, these engines are pretty cheap. My friend Zach picked one up for his sister's car for like 700 bucks. I mean, I paid 500 for a timing belt kit, or a timing chain kit. So picked up the kit and changed it, and started right up, ran like a dream. So don't believe that I bent any valves. The only thing that I didn't do is I didn't get the a new gasket for the timing cover, and ever since I did it, it's leaked a little bit of oil. It doesn't leak like much, only when it runs. So if you don't drive it, it's fine. But it doesn't leave like a puddle in the driveway or anything. You can just climb under the engine, you can see where the oil dripped. So we're getting ready to sell this car, and that was one of the things I wanted to fix before we sell it. That way they don't climb under it, see oil leaking. So basically I got to do everything all over again.
They don't see things the same. 2 out the door. There you have magic. One comes around, one today. They don't see things the same. 2 out the door. There you have magic. One comes around, one today. They don't see things the same. 2 out the door. There you have magic. One comes around, one today. They don't see things the same. 2 out the door. Then you have magic. One comes around, one today. They don't see things the same. 2 out the door. Then you have magic. One comes around, one today. They don't see things the same. 2 walk like 2 out the door. Then you have magic.
So we got the whole side of this undressed. We got the your motor mount out, your tensioner, the belt's off, and I have all the timing cover bolts that I can get to off. And what's kind of nice about pulling this motor mount is it kind of gives you a little bit of flexibility with the engine. You want to support it with something, but if you need a little extra room to get to something, you can jack up on the engine a little bit or lower it down just a little bit. But you want to keep in mind that everything's still connected, so when you jack up and down on your engine, your axles are gonna go to different angles. You got wiring, hoses, so just try to keep that all in mind. But here's your crank pulley, 0.2mm. We use the impact driver just to buzz that off, and last time this wasn't really all that stuck on there. Just want to be careful pulling that out that you don't damage your oil seal, because that's where this piece right here is your seal. If you damage that, then you'll get oil leaking out through this opening. Forgot to mention there's like a plastic shroud here that you have to remove. And if I remember correctly, I used the Sawzall on it last time to make it easier. You can do that too because it definitely makes things a lot easier. Just buzz her down a little bit. Alright, so while we got this open, I'll show you around a little bit. This engine actually has 2 timing chains on it. This outside one is your cam timing chain, and the second one goes around. There's 2 balance shafts. You got one back there, one over there, and then your water pump is right up there. So your balance shaft timing chain goes around your balance shafts and the water pump. And this right here, that's your tensioner. And if you get the timing chain kit, it comes with all these plastic guides and tensioners. It also comes with all new sprockets, including the balance shaft sprockets, which are a pain in the butt to remove unless you have like the right tools. I actually ended up making my own sprocket removal tool. It's just a piece of round stock, and I just took a piece of the old chain and welded it onto there. That way I could wrap the chain around the sprocket and it would give me something to hold that from spinning where you took the bolt out. This is a oil spray nozzle here, that little black thing with the bolt. And the new timing chain kit, it had a notice in there about the oil nozzle. I think the oil nozzle in this is bigger. And I think one of the issues that they were having is at idle or lower engine speeds, the timing components weren't getting enough oil. So I think that was something that they kind of revised after the fact. So yeah, and this is your chain tensioner for your cam stuff. I think that's about all I can show you from down here. This over here, it's just a chain guide, this black one here. That actually broke. I'll have to see if, I don't know if I can find the video or not, but when I opened this up, this chain had so much play in it. You could sit here and flop it back and forth, and you could just about take it off that sprocket without even trying. And it was so loose that it actually caught on this tensioner, or chain guide, and broke a piece of it off. And what was weird is I never figured out where it was getting all that play from, because like the plastic chain guides didn't seem that worn. I held the new chain up to the old chain, they were about the same length. You know, so maybe the sprockets were worn out. I really don't know, but it was extremely loose. You're probably asking yourself, if your timing chain was that loose, don't you think you'd know it? And actually, yes, in a way. This is my wife's car, okay? Don't ever trust women. So, I don't drive this car often, or at least I didn't. And this one day over the summer, like the end of summer, kind of fallish, I got in and started it up, and right after he started it up, I thought it made like a funny noise. And I go, what's that noise? She goes, what noise? So I shut the car off, started it again, you know, it made that noise again, and I said, that noise. And she said, oh, that noise? It's made that ever since I got the car. So I trusted her, and even though there was something telling me, no, I don't think it's made that noise ever since we bought it. So anyways, that was the timing chain. I think it was, when you first started it, it would, you know, since there was so much slack in it, it would kind of slap and hit things until it kind of got into like a rhythm. And it just, when you first started up, it would just kind of, you know, make a funny noise, and then it would go right away. And it doesn't make that noise anymore. So here's the timing cover. This is your water pump access door, and you can see all the oil underneath it. That's where it's been leaking from. It's your seal. Not much to see on the other side of this. I believe this here is your oil pump. It goes around your crankshaft, and it's got, you know, a suction side and a blow side, and as your engine spins, it sucks the oil in one and blows the other. I don't know. That's my guess anyway. You can listen to what I say, but don't believe it. Anything I tell you to do it at your own risk, because we're only guessing it. So anyways, check this out. I got this gasket kit. It's a Felpro. Holy crap, they sent me like 1,000,000,001 O-rings. I don't even know what these all go to, because I changed out the water pump, and I think this is the water pump gasket. But I have no idea what the rest of these are, because even the water pump kit didn't come with all these rubbers. But this is your new access door gasket. It goes in there like so. Alright, so I took and cleaned off the old gasket material, what was left of it, and there was like a little bit of schmutz. And so like I said, here's the new gasket. Look, it's got like a rubber O-ring. Goes that way. And then the plate. And the bolts. Pull out my new gasket. Oh, no way. Way to go, Felpro. Check that out. They send you a seal as well. You might just have to put that in. I guess if you're looking for gaskets, go with Felpro. Of course, you know my luck. I'm gonna put this new seal in there and it's gonna leak. So just double check, make sure that everything lines up and looks decent. Just to get the old seal out, I'm just going to use a punch from the inside. Just be careful you don't score the edge of the seal goes into. Anything can be a seal driver. So make sure you're going in straight. You don't want to drive like one side in and not the other. Alright. New seal's installed. Alright, ready to go back on. One thing you're not going to want to forget is your that long bolt. It's actually for your water pump. Which is a pain. Alright, so we have our harmonic balancer crank pulley back on. We put that on, just kind of get it, square it up, you know, so you don't damage that seal. Just slide it in and just kind of turn it as you push it into, because you have to line up with your oil pump, and then you have to line up with the keyway on the crankshaft. So now that is in place, we can torque that down. I feel like at some point in my life this thing should click. I think this stupid thing's busted. So now I need to torque down the water pump bolt, and then I need to put the tensioner back on, and the belt, and then the motor mount, and it should be done. Change the oil in it, and we'll be all set.